We are in something that is messy and intense, but also matters. The explosion in what is now the clearly, completely broken relationship between President Trump and his largest donor, Elon Musk, who went from lording over cabinet meetings, holding that special goodbye press appearance in the Oval Office. Remember, that was just last week, to a total blowout battle today that is riveting Washington, politics, huge corners of the internet, as I said, both for its messiness, pettiness, but also its stakes. Now, they hit new lows with Musk trying to smear Trump with a horrific conspiracy theory, Trump blasting Musk, and now doing something that should never be normal, whether he's mad at Musk or not, which is blatantly threatening to abuse the federal government to retaliate against him.
Well, they're definitely more inclined to believe Musk. Musk has a huge communication system, both, I would say, with Twitter, but also with Joe Rogan. If you watched Bono's appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience recently, where Rogan was claiming that USAID was a fraud, and Bono, who has worked with this agency across many continents, said that is not the case. Rogan just stood with Musk in pushing that line.
Interesting.
So Musk has a tremendous platform. He has a tremendous megaphone here that makes this tremendously risky for the Republican Party to be going against him. But the problem is that Musk really believed that Thune and Johnson worked for him. The problem is that Thune and Johnson worked for Trump. That's something that Elon Musk simply did not understand.
He's also musing about something that is notoriously difficult to do, partly because of the way our patchwork state laws work and other things we don't even have to get into tonight. But it certainly hurts the party that's under pressure when you talk about a third party. Democrats have lived that. I think viewers remember that. You can go all the way back to Nader. Here is Elon Musk, who has the money to do more. Today, Newsweek covering how he put it on X. He asked, is it time to create a new political party? And it's coming out of the feud. Where does that fit in, Che, if he is angry enough to want to make a point and funding a party or funding these primary races to hurt Republicans, not necessarily to get 51%?
Well, you know, the old movie tagline, this time it's personal. Well, this time it's really personal between Trump and Musk. Musk knows that if he were to actually do a third party, it would do nothing but help Democrats, because he would actually be taking away from a lot of the voters who had previously supported Trump. And Musk knows that, and he knows that he can hurt Trump, he can take him down, but his ability to put himself in power, that I'm a lot more skeptical about. You know, there's the fact that Elon Musk has absolutely no real charisma himself as a figure, and he's also a really bad judge of who would make a good candidate. Exhibit A, J.D. Vance, the vice president, who struggled to buy some donuts on the campaign trail just last year. You know, so I wouldn't really put a lot of money on Elon Musk's success with this third party, but I do think it would be a good proposition that he would hurt Trump.